Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Baugh, and today we're going to be talking about ISO, aperture, and shutter speed, and how that relates to getting a cohesive image or getting good exposure out of your images. Now, it could be pretty difficult to wrap your head around this, and it's something that I've had to kind of go back and study a few times, even though I kind of already learned it, but it's something that if you don't use it, you're probably going to lose it. So I wanted to make a video so that, we could all kind of go back and have a little reference point. Now with ISO, aperture, and shutter speed, they can be really, really powerful tools in order to create the appropriate image, but they also have their downsides. You don't want to raise them up much past where they are because they're going to have a side effect on the image. Obviously, too much of a good thing is still too much, right? So I like to think of it like this. It's sort of like a house party. Now you have the door to get into the party is kind of where everything's happening, and that's going to be your aperture, which is the little ring that kind of opens and closes within your lens to allow light to come and go. So pretty much the same as a doorway. Now, if you have a really small doorway, you're only going to be able to let in really small people, I guess. Unless they're kind of like cramming to get in, and then you're going to have less people. It's going to become like a funnel almost. So you can think about it like this. Like with the aperture, you're going to, if you have it really low, you have a really small aperture, then you're only going to get the subject that's the closest to the camera in frame. Everything else is going to be kind of blurry behind them. If you raise that up, you're going to see a lot more people coming in, right? And so you're probably going to get the person that's behind that person or even further. General rule of thumb with the aperture, if you want to get a lot more people in focus, you don't necessarily have to change your depth of field with your lens. You can actually just change your aperture and then you'll see far more people within it, right? After that, you have your shutter speed, which is sort of the rate at which the doors open. If you leave the door open all night, for instance, you're going to let a lot more people come into that house party, right? If you kind of only open it and close it for a few minutes and then you tell everybody else to go home, then you're not really going to have as many people at your party. But if it's, pretty intimate and smaller, you're probably going to see those people a lot better. If 1,000 people are coming through your house, it's going to be difficult to remember any one of them, right? So it's the same with your shutter speed. If you leave the shutter open for a really long time, say you're doing it 1-for-1 or 1 second exposure, you're leaving it open the entire time, a lot more light's going to come in and a lot more things are going to have the chance to happen right outside your lens. So if you're filming like cars, for instance, you're going to get a lot of blur on those cars. If you close that down maybe 1/300th of a second, well, now you are taking very little time. It's so only a few people are going to be able to get in, but those people are going to be in much better focus. You're not going to have nearly that sort of motion blur that's going on around them because you have a lot more time to get to know them, I guess, once they get into the party, right? And the ISO, it's the sensitivity of your sensor to light. So this is kind of how intense that party is going to be when you get in. Is it going to have laser lights? Is it going to have, like fog? Is it going to have, different things going on, great dance music, maybe some dubstep going on in this party? That's obviously going to be a much more kind of intense experience. You're going to see a lot more things probably in a situation like that than maybe like a house party with a few people there, which may be sort of darkly lit, easier to do things. The problem with this is that too much of that and you're going to start to get noise on your image. You're going to start to forget things, little bits of information may be lost, that sort of thing. You're going to be able to maximize on fewer people coming into a house party with all of that stuff going than you are with, hardly anything but spread over a wider amount of people, right? So you're either going to have a lot more sensitivity or a lot less sensitivity. And you want to kind of adjust those things so that you're having sort of the perfect night. So you have the door that it takes to get into the party, you have the rate at which that door is open, and then you have the kind of intensity of that when you get there. And that's how I sort of tie it all together, is I want to have the best house party possible, and so I want to make sure that those three things pan out exactly how I want them to make that thing exactly what I want it to be. And that kind of gives me much more control over what I'm doing. Now, I hope this has helped. It's, you know, it's how I put it together. Hopefully somebody out there will find it useful, but thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and it was a pleasure as always, and you guys have a wonderful night.